Ross and Gunplay. Hey, it ain't about anything to do with music. What are they famous for? How are they making all this money? It's not just the music. They said it to me years ago. They said robberies. And at the time, I was just a young child, and as many are the children, and they're scared. And I was scared of Gunplay and Rick Ross too. Since then, I've gotten in position to be able to make people aware of their criminal enterprise, of robberies. They make music videos, and then, can you believe it? It doesn't matter who you are. If you're a child, 3 years old, if you're an adult, if you're even a teenager, they will figure out a way to profit off of you. Can you believe that? The same thing I hear goes on like with law enforcement. They're protecting. We've got their mafia. They're doing bad things. What are they doing? Trafficking of narcotics, human trafficking, robbery. How do I know? I was a victim. Me and my brother were a victim of one of their crimes, being robbery, manipulation, homicide. Crimes that they will fall for. That's just a woman. She has to go to the bathroom too. And we have steel toilets for them to sit down on. Have they ever showered you in champagne? No, you probably had to buy it, or you couldn't, or you're just thirsty for it. How are they getting on these airplanes with the firearms? They ain't flying up to Canada, that's all I know. But they do. How do they do it? Politicians. Politicians that are against you. So what do you have to do? Well, if you can't beat them, you got to join them. And I couldn't beat them, so I guess now I'm joining them when it comes to this, the guns. The police didn't want to help. Nobody wanted to help, right? Nobody wants to help you. Like I said, they find ways with the kids. They find ways with the kids. I was one of them. Luckily, I got to live to tell a story. Rossi's got a conscience to him. Conscience. He knew it was going to be virtually impossible to touch me. As he learned, he wept. Okay, it started with Johnson at Calusa Middle School. They should have done me at Fort Myers Beach. They could have done me in London. That was the only time they would have ever been able to done me was in London. When I had my big investment coming through, I was sitting on the goddamn stairs, and I knew that I was going to be like on my way back up. That was my big investment. It was start from the ground up, learn my lesson, learn how hard it is, learn every single nook and cranny of how this world works. And Gunplay did too. Gunplay started from nothing. I learned that from him. Absolutely nothing. He started from nothing, eating out of the garbage. He was much like that. What's his name? He's a big time rapper now on YouTube. He's blowing up. He's out of Florida. Come on. It ain't Gunplay, it ain't Ross. What's his name? Lie. Stank. He was much like a stank when he was at Carroll City High. Carroll City High, it was much like a Cape Coral High. Okay, I almost went to Cape Coral High School. My brother almost did too. But down in Florida, man, it's way different. Like me and my brother are here, they are down in Florida. That's why I said, oh, okay, it's like that. So then I said, I'm going back to Canada because me and my brother, we got family just like that in Canada. Not Cape Coral, Florida. We want to show Cape Coral High School. Boy, does this Cape Coral High School have a rep. They scared me all the way back to Canada. Same with my brother. Look at the eagle. Look at the eagle. That's around the. I'm lucky I didn't get picked up by one of these eagles. All right. Because middle school, Calusa, and then once you hit that high school, it's like a whole different world down there. And they said that. They said that. And being a Canadian, I didn't have any of my Canadian brothers or sisters or cousins with me. It was me and the Angry Eagle. And trust me, it's not all just cheerleading. They got these plants within the Cape Coral High School. Like a Johnson who killed my friend Jeffrey Sosa. He was killed by one of these Rick Ross plants. So I'm sitting in school at Calusa Middle School. And me and Jeffrey at school. Next thing you know, when we leave school, all these random ass plants start coming out. What do you mean plants? Like people that are not supposed to be at school. Funny thing is, they've tried to say I was this person, but no, I was attending school, normal friends and all that. So we got to ask, stop wasting resources on that and get to the point here. The point is, I'm not the criminal. That's Rick Ross, the one who sent Johnson to kill Jeffrey. Because I was starting to make friends with other Italian people. I happen to be a Canadian Italian. Matthew Earls, whose life is in danger in Cape Coral, Florida, because your sheriff's department has not taken Rick Ross, William Roberts to jail. I got the criminal enterprise. Here's the evidence. They got him with the marshals the one time. They said, where's the evidence? So here it is. Let's get some testimony from her. It was Rick Ross, wasn't it? You heard him on 105.5 The Beat. We thought he was the biggest boss, and you discharged the firearms. Just admit it, and you'll be more than safe. It was Rick Ross who commanded Johnson. I know it for a fact. I heard it on the line when I had to return to Canada. That is what happened to my friend Jeffrey, and they try to get me, and they're going to try to get Matthew. If you do not get this William Roberts, Matthew is a U.S. Marine. And they've taken, I've heard, I don't know for sure, but I've heard that they've taken Matthew's firearm from him. That's a setup. You never let them take your firearm from you. That's your legal right. So if that's true, that's sad. Well, what do you have to do? You have to get you got a DUI. Ooh, wow. And Rick Ross and this loser Gunplay, they remain at large. Oh, he makes Gunplay look like a loser. I met Gunplay, and he's a total loser. Like a certified loser. Just because he's got a picture doesn't mean a picture is worth a million years. Or sorry, a picture's worth a million words. It's not worth $1 million. Look at this, and this is what his name means. The shooting of small arms with intent to scare or kill. And I'm an owner of small arms, and he makes me look like a gosh dang bad person because I need it for self-defense against folks like this. I mean, at least, I didn't really, we want to talk about choices. I didn't like the haircut choice he went with. The JJ bald fade or whatever. He didn't go with the Boosie fade. He went with the JJ. You can't even find a picture of JJ. All you can find is a picture of Gunplay with the JJ fade. Who's JJ? He's this rat that lives in a hole up in Barrie. And Gunplay's a rat that lives in a hole down in Miami. And there's missiles fucking coming at him. Whack-a-mole, buddy. Whack-a-mole. Shout out to all the fallen soldiers. All right? Don't worry, we will get justice for Asia. All right? We will get justice for our Floridians. Like Matthew Earls. And what about this guy? Stop protecting him. I already said me and my dad, and we got a lot of power when it comes to this. We love Jeb Bush. So Jeb, show some effort in the capture of William Roberts III. Chris Christie, I love him. I got nothing bad to say about anybody, even Como. I don't mind. But you know who I got a lot to say bad about is this William Roberts III. It's about time that America can move on. The child, I have no ambition to call for the imprisonment of the child. He's above 18 now, and even a 25-year sentence or a 10-year sentence might go well with him. It's going to clean up the streets of the United States. You're going to have less murders, less drugs. The economy's going to get back to normal because, well, this big magnet, you're going to get them out of the center of Georgia. They put them right in the center of Georgia. Same thing happened. How come? What happened to the Holyfield? Why'd Holyfield have to sell it? It's nothing about his wealth. It's about his illegal actions. His refusal to his refusal. He was my father. He was my father, but eventually we part ways with our father, and then eventually fathers can pass away, fathers can move on, fathers can find in a new mother, a new partner. Like my father got divorced and he married a new person. And the same thing can happen with our favorite rapper. The one that just, when we come down to it, we realize what's going on here. It's the reason why we're all unsafe. Don't we want to go back to a safe America? One that Obama planned. Well, Obama's big plan was change, right? But one thing we didn't change was the strongest criminal network that's within America. And just one last note. The last time they did this was with the New York mob. It was one of the biggest mafias in American history. And it took a lot to get them to go down. It was the reason that made New York unsafe. Luckily, I got to go down. I got there in a nick of time, 7 years. There's a nick of time that I got to go down and be a normal American, and then here came the mob again. They rose. He went from Haiti. He started in Haiti. Okay. And then they refugeed him to Florida. And they keep this information classified to hurt other people all around the world. They use him as a warlord to scare the Queen Elizabeth. Videos like this are going to wake people up. People were terrified of this Rick Ross. They didn't know the whole story. Oh, yeah, he came from Haiti. He was a refugee in Miami. He started making money. And then he started selling dope. And then he got into the murder business. And then he started scaring politicians. And then the politicians joined him because his murder business was working. And then here we are where his murder business is at the end of his role. It's Rick Ross, it's Gunplay, and he's got Kamala and Obama who scared Joe, and Donald wants to make money and all that. So a lot of the politicians were scared and still are scared of their 223 rifles and all that. Because they've yet to make any sort of real military. They want to keep attacking others because it comes down to what's the best play of cards. The best play of cards now is to destroy William Roberts. But back then, and for the longest time, even with the New York mob with John Gotti, it was, and I've received threats even from the John Gotti Jr. and the woman. But then since it's not as big of a testimony, they've realized like it didn't work out with John. And that's what happens when you get tired and old. You start making threats. I've even been guilty of the threats. But as you may know, threats are one thing. The more importance is actually the real crimes being committed: rape, murder, and all that. And rape and murder, it's a bloody situation. And they're playing the cards back. Gunplay's song, blood up, don't get no blood on the dope. So they'll kill you and they'll clean it up to where there's no blood. I mean, and this is what they offer to God, they offer to the government. The government aren't the best people. I guess this is one of those documentaries to show that what it comes down to. Nor have I ever been so powerful like one of these ones. I mean, when they slaughter, they do it well. Nor have I ever slaughtered. All I do well is, well, I can't even do the mouse laugh well. All right, you can't even do the mouse laugh well, but make the decision for yourself. Do you want to be at risk, or do you want to go back to a time when we could just be in normality? We didn't have to worry about these. And you know who got straight, and he uses his power, believe it or not, all the way up. Kids, and I even was like, when I went down there and seen this, I said, wow. I said, unbelievable. It's like the opposite of what I am and what I strive to be. But I'm not nothing without your help, okay? And yeah, it was Rick Ross's his movie power, his movie, and it wasn't Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson splashed around in a bathtub, and he loves people. But Rick Ross, what was it? Come on, Tom, you had it a minute ago. Well, he uses his power to manipulate folks that get living in the United States. Like, I was gonna say stuck in the United States, but folks are not stuck in the United States, because I'm an American myself, and I don't believe that folks should be stuck or feel like they're stuck, and that goes with my human trafficking, straight drop, and all that. Unfortunately, his story won't get out. They cover that up, drop. And I don't know straight drop, nor do I agree on his choices, but this is all the kid could do with this monopoly that they're carrying over there. This kid, straight drop, couldn't even get a goddamn ice cream at Makita's? Like, what the fuck is this? All right? That we're seeing. What's this Rick Ross? And he said, well, young Dolph, the rumor is young Dolph was at Makita's or Macca's. And I was just learning this celebrity life, like many were. Even now that I learned, even young Dolph was just learning this celebrity life. And there's not many ways to make money as a celebrity, okay? One of their strategies is with the diamond chains, it's a trick. It's like, it was really hard to obtain these jewels, but the way that they make it look so easy, kids think it's like that, where when Rick Ross tells you to go shoot Dolph, they go shoot him, but then Rick Ross is laughing back at his promised land, because he's not going to give you nothing, kid. His own citizens. Man, I've been just so generous. I've given out $50,000 in generosity. Rick Ross, I don't think's given any. Okay, but back to the Dolph story. So Dolph went to Makita's and he got a free ice cream. That's well aware. He got a free ice cream and he got some cookies. No, sorry, he got a free cookie. He didn't even get ice cream. And the first time is one thing. I've gotten some stuff free too. And you got to do a video for it and all that. But it's a one thing free or whatever, you cannot go back and get it again. You can't even go back with your money for a while and all that. Especially like when you're young Dolph. Like, fuck, bud. He should have stayed home and got on Amazon. But man, he was. See, boy, this is when I say that pornography can come to use when you got these certain feelings that you know are going to put you at risk. I watch pornography sometimes. I'm like, boy, I feel a little bit gay right now. Hey, I ain't got nothing, but I ain't gay myself. And hey, I ain't gonna lie, I've watched gay pornography, but never in my life have I ever done no gay stuff with no real man. Because gay stuff with real men, we heard the stories, boy. You could get shot. You could get... No, never did I ever touch little Kyle. Kyle was touching me. Boy, I used to watch gay porn. Same with Waka Flocka. Watch who you're being gay with. Watch who you're walking into. Like, fuck. Especially when you're somebody like that. And watch fucking with that Rick Ross. Get rid of that Rick. He ain't goddamn Cameron. Cameron's he's a nice ass nigga. That William Roberts is one evil ass son of a gun. Well, and I got to stop talking about he's and all that, but I'm trying to go to the point. I guess it was different before me and my dad, John Slote. And Rick, you seen how my dad did it. We lived on Cedar Creek Road. It was a big historic property in Linden, Tennessee. Let me see. HAWGS N Hillbillies, you'll be able to pull it up. We created this restaurant. We had two houses on the property. It's this big historic property. I'd have to pull it up on maps. And he's also now got the historic property after we had the historic property and all that. Hey, listen, I took my investments out on this Linden back in 2009. So nothing hurts me. My investments were taken out years ago. But my dad, I know it hurts him down in Savannah. I took my investments out the day I found out. All right. And it's not about HAWGS N Hillbillies. It was about something else. But yeah, I took my investments out. But boy, did I love that property. And boy, did I love Tennessee. But I was a minor at the time, and it says, goddamn, no minors. Stacks and Millie was a minor at the time. But I love what my dad did with it. It's under new ownership, much more appropriate ownership. This is my home that I grew up in for some time. As you can see, it's not the most nice home. That's where I learned a lot. We had a steel roof, and you could hear every raindrop. And here's our tornado shelter, where we had to run down and escape the tornadoes of Tornado Alley. And hear all the goddamn motorcycles. And they got women, but that's property of Ronnie Lager, okay? There's Marcella Cortez. Melinda Blount, Susie Brady, Francis Latino Blouch. So you got French people down there too, but they're a little bit different than the French people we have here in Canada. But wow, look at this. They even have whatever those are called. They got a lot of different motorcycles. So head on down to HAWGS N Hillbillies. It don't look like they posted in a while. Closed. They're open late. 2909 Cedar Creek Road. I believe where I used to live was 2907. The house next door. We owned both homes. Actually, my dad had said that that home that got turned into HAWGS N Hillbillies was my home But then there was a robbery where my dad pulled a 22 handgun on me down the street. He tricked me into going down to this lake, and he said, Tom, come over here to this lake. Tom, come over here to this lake, and all that. And he had a little 22, and that's what he still has, just a little 22. That's all he'll ever be, is a little 22. He doesn't have an extended mag. He's got nothing. But boy, was he proud when his son called him, and he said, Dad, guess who moved up to the 32? Your son Tom, he's now the owner of a 32. A 22 wasn't enough. A 22 was back in Tennessee. And boy, do I love that old 22. But that 22 I could give a fuck about. That 22 needs to be destructed. There's this Ruger 22 that's in my dad's possession that needs to be destructed. My dad doesn't even know how a magazine loads into the goddamn chamber. He doesn't know anything about cartridges. He doesn't know anything about ejection. He doesn't know anything about bullets. He doesn't know anything about aiming. He doesn't know anything about anything. The springs, the trigger, the functions, the goddamn slide, racking of, disassembly. He doesn't know anything but this video where he's trying to copy me and my knowledge. But yeah, Tom's got a revolver. He's got a better gun than his dad now. He was just a goddamn hillbilly. He was a pig, and he was a hillbilly. And that's HAWGS N Hillbillies. It's for the pigs and the hillbillies. If you're a greedy pig, pigs are known for being greedy. Funny, they would call me a pig. They're very greedy creatures when they get old. Much like a Jeremy Leutner. Yeah, Jeremy Leutner's family, they look exactly like fucking pigs, okay? Let me pull them up to show you. You think I'm lying, but boy, do pigs eat. They got some good goddamn food. Even this pig wants to eat over there. And he wants to eat with Daphne, but unfortunately, they have their own pig families, Tom. HAWGS N Hillbillies Biker Bar. Annual crawfish boil. People travel all around, and it's already gone so far with that. Hey, it's theirs now. It's the HAWGS N Hillbillies. And you don't gotta be a biker, I'm sure, to roll up at the bar. Here's my old friend Danny Ray Landers, all right? They wouldn't even tell me his real name. Okay, Nicki and John, they had a big scheme, but it's all right. This guy right here, he's famous, all right? He's got a four-wheeler, and he's got a little girl daughter. And they used to roll up to the property, and Nicki, who happens to be a transvestite, she is not a real woman, just so everybody knows. That is a transvestite, and unfortunately, I lost respect for my father, John, when I learned that she was a tranny and not a real woman. Okay, she's got a scar. She had her penis removed, and she's also got chest hair. And she also didn't tell me Danny Ray Landers' name. But there he is. For the benefit fundraiser, Poker Run. He lives right around the corner on Cedar Creek. I'm not going to tell you exactly where he lives, but sometimes he rolls up on his four-wheeler. And he ain't goddamn wanted or nothing like that. Neither am I. Benefit for kidney dialysis patient is what he is right now, or was, sorry, in 2017. So that's a while ago, almost 6 years ago. But I'm sure you could still use it. Proceeds will be donated. Barbecue plates, and boy, what are they famous at down there? Some barbecue plates. I never got to have one, but tell me about it. Half chicken and sides, $10. We got them up here. I can pay the $10 up here. Poker Run, 3 stops. Mick Stacy's Travel Heads. Nicki don't know how to make no goddamn plate. Nicki don't know how to make a goddamn plate. If she did, she would own HAWGS N Hillbillies. Anyways, no guns inside the Hillbillies, so I can't take my 32 caliber revolver in my pocket holster concealed carrying. Sorry, I won't be at the Hillbillies, but maybe there is going to be maybe there's special exemptions. But as of right now, it says no guns inside. But you can have your gun in your truck, or I guess you, well, hey, that's a good goddamn rule. Put your gun in its case and put it under the seat or put it in its car. But goddamn, Stacks and Millie, me or whatever, the original owner of this property and whatever, the one that was supposed to get it by inheritance, I carry my goddamn 32 everywhere to the day I die. And I don't go to non-gun zones either. Okay? But little do they know my reach reaches down to every holler in the entire United States. But I'm not one to threaten, and I'm very happy of which way they go. And I think somebody said to me, they're not going to Canada. Good. Because you're not welcome here, much like I'm not welcome in the HAWGS N Hillbillies. We have crawfish here. The first thing my dad showed me in Canada was our river. We used to have a river with crawfish in it. They got rivers with the goddamn crawfish too, and blah, blah, blah. And that's your HAWGS N Hillbillies. And you're more than safe. Keep your goddamn gun on you. Who's this one? I called down to HAWGS and I said, John, this was when I was under 18. This was years ago. They've had HAWGS for years. It's changed hands years ago. Perry County. This is the hardest part of Perry County. You won't find nothing harder. And it just so happens to be right next to the Cannonball. Just down the street is that where they manufactured hard steel cannonballs. So what a coincidence. But other than that, Perry County has got to be the sweetest county. They have the most beautiful women. It's all there for a man to go and find a wife. I had a very abusive father, so I'm so sorry that I had to be in the presence of such American greatness. Look at this. It even goes along with the Nashville Bike Week 2017. Asian man. Yeah. Well, HAWGS N Hillbillies makes the money for any people that go into their business. And then I make about 25 cents to $5 per person that watches this video. The Cajun man. Well, they speak a lot of Spanish down there. Okay. Nicki, she could make a gosh dang gumbo. Her famous was the gumbo. But Nicki she's with that Gunplay and all that, but that's neither here nor there. I don't think they even allow people like a Gunplay down over at HAWGS N Hillbillies. He's not even part of that same clique. I think it's mostly Cedar Creek people and then people that come around from all over the United States. From Facebook, Google, Yelp, that whole thing. Yep, they have these here in Canada too. Every neighborhood's got one of these, but they got one of those. Wow, it's a Polaris. That's double trouble because the one I'm looking at is 12,000 and it's a whole different brand. The Polaris is way more expensive. Slingshot. Hey, tell those Canadian idiots or whatever that it ain't about today or tomorrow. It's about 10 years from now. Just like it was about 10 years ago. Island choppers. I don't know what the heck that is. It's California, right? They're right next to gosh dang Hawaii. Annual poker run. You'll learn a lot about bikers. They ain't all just some bad people. Their big MO with the bikers is they get rid of the bad people. They're well in tune with the sheriffs. It's not as lower end as they're put out to be. Sort of like normal people that have saved their money to buy a motorcycle. But congratulations to them and all that. Here's the truck that me and my father dug up just outside of, where was it? I don't know. I don't know the names. You tell me. Lisa and Daphne. There's the names. Firewater. Is that just like, holy shit, they're full outs. Like, buddy, they told us about the moonshine, and they really created it. Like the ones. They got Firewater. I drink Fireball. They got Firewater. All right. They also own their goddamn HAWGS N Hillbillies, Tom. They also are threatening you, Tom. Here's the land I used to mow. Same ones that don't allow you to bring the guns in are going to threaten you and shoot you with their guns. So be careful. Have your gun on you. I wouldn't. I think it's an inside thing, eh? It's, you got to call before and check the family out before you pull up. It ain't like pull up. And that's what they said before. They said it ain't like pull up. Right? Yeah, there's the goddamn land. Ain't goddamn doing nothing. But people are standing on it. That's all that matters. And they got crawfish. I never have eaten a crawfish. You tell me how it tastes. It tastes good. Well, it obviously tasted so good. You know what I mean? Oh my God, it's Phil Robertson that smoked 1 million cigarettes. No, that ain't Phil Robertson. That's just another goddamn one. And that's what their beard looks like when they smoke cigarettes after so many years. And that's what it looks like after you get the runaround put on you by Nicki. Enjoy the pictures, Dad. And enjoy your Savannah to Memphis highway. Because you're only going to be there for 5 or 10 years before they kick you out again. Because guess what they got John with? Can you fucking believe it? John, he's so much of a goddamn idiot. And his favorite thing is goddamn. And man, they got some women. I think this one and the one on the bike takes the cake. And I don't mean to talk shit about my dad, but he's got to learn. They got him like this. They sold him a fucking musket. They were laughing. He bought a 50 cal musket in modern day the United States. Okay? My dad is the idiot. John Slote is the idiot. Nicki is laughing. She's got him hit. They said, John, you're going to need guns here. You're going to need guns here in the United States. Here's a musket. You got to fill it up with the powder and then, yeah. And then all the Americans who are the same, have the same right as us, ran to Walmart and they bought their 223s, their semi-automatic 223s. And I've been hearing about this ever since. Something I got nothing to do with. John's got his 22, but he don't get it. Everybody got their 223s. They're the same money as the same exact money you spent on the musket. They went and got their 223 at Walmart. And he did the same thing. Can you believe I wasted a year over there at Linden? And my dad gave me a broken compound bow. A broken compound bow. That was my story in Linden. And we bought our house over there. We own that property. And Tom had nothing but a broken compound bow. That is the father that Tom dealt with when I was 14 and 13 and 12 and 11 and 10. All he did was yell and scream. He even messed up my $1 million investment because people knew at the time that I was scared of yelling and screaming Well, Dad, I had $1 million transfer on the way, but I had to go to sleep because on their military chip they started yelling and screaming. And it brought up the memories of my father, John, who did nothing but mess up business. And then Nicki's going to laugh, but she's as guilty as John. There are two people that need to be sent to Guantanamo, especially Nicki. She is like this. She is like this. I don't know how to pull it up. Like, she is the most ugliest. She is the most ugliest. Her pouch is so goddamn ugly. She's worse than a kangaroo. And she ain't my stepmom. She's a mafia. Okay, they got a group of mafia. They're from fucking California, Russell, Juma, Florida, and Tennessee. And guess who goes and sees Nicki every once in a while? Russell. He goes and sees Nicki every once in a while. They got a big hit on my dad. Oh, well, Dad, I threw you away. And they got a big hit on my mom, too, but they'll never have me hit. And they'll have you hit, too, if you go down here, unless you're one of these goddamn guys and one of these goddamn gals. And there's those goddamn trees. But guess what? My dad's the most goddamn famous one for doing this goddamn stance. It wasn't goddamn you, Mr. Goddamn Penn Goddamn Teller. And no, you're not allowed in Canada by the goddamn dozens. They won't allow you. We got every single one of your pictures and every single one of your identities. God damn. God damn. God damn. When you say goddamn, everybody say goddamn. They don't say goddamn. This looks like the guy from that one goddamn. From that one goddamn. Darius Rucker. And the pictures just keep going. This one's a relation to Becca Lee. This one's a relation to this other Robin person I know. Yeah, they got men by the goddamn bundles. Can you goddamn believe it? This one's ears are as big as my goddamn uncle something or other with the big ears. This one's half Asian, like goddamn the Colonel Sanders. This one looks like goddamn Dusty. The goddamn... Have you heard what happened to Dusty in this place? God damn. All right? Dusty was a homosexual. And I came on his face in this HAWGS N Hillbillies. Okay, these boys couldn't even produce sperm at the time. And they were trying to talk to me and all that. I said, oh, really? Because I got some of it. Boom. Came all over his goddamn face. His name was Dusty Young. And he ate it. And Kyle Reister, he watched. And that's legal, whatever. I came on their face. But I'm a nice guy. I wouldn't kill this little pig. But that's how I seen it, eh? It was fuck. And you got the women there, come on their goddamn face and their titties and shit. If that's what it's all about. Don't be scared to say it. I wasted 20 goddamn 8 years like that where I just held it in. That's what causes cancer. All that is not doing what you want to do. And that's what I wanted to do. And he did it. Harley Davidson. Blowout celebration for Daffy and Sue. There's a relation to Travis. That one is famous. That woman with the what you would call the curly blonde, she's a good looking woman, I'd say. But there's so many goddamn other men. I ain't into that. He was into that. It was like a new party every night and all that. And I like a goddamn woman, but When I see it, I pick up a woman at the goddamn bar, and she's going with me forever. But not with these women. It's a new ride every goddamn other day with some of the women. Like, hey, all to them. Because I just dealt with one of those women, and that's their personal choice. There was one of them women who probably are connected to one of these ones, or many of these ones. And they set boys up, they got their men that they're with, and they may fuck 25 of them, and you're just this little 19-year-old boy, and they're going to say you raped her. That's how they do business. They're men with long hair. They love men with long hair. If they don't take a good picture, it's very blurry. There's Robin. Is that really Robin? I don't know if it is or not. But anyways, this picture is not blurry. But man, what's up with all the blurry pictures? Actually, dude, I'm famous for the blurry pictures too. On my YouTube channel, I got some blurry thumbnails. So I guess it all goes together. But they do. They got there every once in a while. I think that is that Robin girl. Oh, I think that is that Robin girl. I talked to that lady on Facebook before. Turnip stew. It must have been one of those nights. Turnip stew ain't goddamn bad. But this goes into my other politics. It's about as brown as goddamn Obama. Because we didn't see Obama in this whole one. And the big thing back then when I left, it was Super Tuesday Obama. Everybody knows I want to see Obama's head on a goddamn thing just like this. See, I say whatever I want here in Canada. I'm not scared to say it. I even used to say it in Linden. We were the No-Bama family. No-Bama. And whatever. It ain't my dad. It's fucking some other thing now. What's this? It's Daphne. It's all about Daphne. And Randy. Legger. They must love Lager. Motorcycles. There's them going the one way. That one's the way towards Linden. The other way is the way towards Parsons. Well, you don't gotta goddamn go to Linden. You could goddamn go to Nashville that goddamn way. You could get on top of the goddamn highway. I know, listen, people have this weird misconception. That's what they've been told. It's like, no, I know everything. I never got any brain damage. Nobody ever hurt my head. He's a gun owner just like everybody else. And I live in a $350,000 apartment, and my building was $7 million. And this is where I came from. For a year and a half, we bought this place. We sold it to these people. I went up north when the war started to make sure that I was safe, and that if my dad ended up POW MIA or dead, I would be able to fight back. And I'm still here doing well. And there ain't nothing to fight against, I see. Oh, there's the titties. You can show those tatas on YouTube. You can show those tatas on YouTube. It's funny. Go ahead and show the sheriffs. I was just on the phone with the Perry County sheriffs. That video's on my channel. Canada and the United States have been at war since 1812, if you didn't know. So that ain't nothing. You could show Joe Biden. You could show that N-word Obama. I call Obama a goddamn N-word every day in my house. It's part of my ritual. Part of my ritual. Anyways. Oh, I know this one. I knew this one in real life. This one was related to Kylie, and she was related to some other ones. That's a Qualls right there, buddy. I know that lady. Look at this thing. And I have to say that it's very sad that I would have to say something about how shortly after I had left, there was this great flood. I call it the Great Super Tuesday Linden Flood. It was, no. There was the Super Tuesday tornado outbreak, which they do every 10 years. So get ready for the next president. They have this thing called HARP. If you weren't like me, and yeah, it's real. They got this thing that can create tornadoes and all that. And well, if you say the N word too much, they hit you with it and shit like that. What's it called? I met this guy too, eh? Now this guy, I don't go too close to him. This guy, he's known a goddamn tussler. He's much like my dad. He's a big tussler, that guy. And they wear their shit kickers. And there's another one much like my dad. It's funny. They're a whole flock of birds or whatever. I even just watched, if you haven't watched that 5-hour movie out in Arizona with Hell's Angels, go watch that one. It's a great one. Even this guy would love it. You have all types of guys in that one. It's not just, well, they got the sergeant at arms and they got the president, but then it's all different ones. And then they're chaperoning with another crew, and the Hells Angels love you, and everybody loves the Hells Angels. And everybody loves the HAWGS N Hillbillies. There's a Ronnie Lager. So that guy, we've got into the Lager family a bit. Florence Lager. Florence must be the girl. She was French. She looks a lot like a lot of our girls here in Canada that are also French, but they're American, United States. And she went all the way out and turned to be a Lager. All right. And it's like, they got a certain gimmick to go with them, but that is the gosh dang. And give me the finger about it. What's that gosh dang? He's got tattoos, this motherfucker. All right. What's that gosh dang thing that they live in? It's famous on the internet. Appalachia. Another part of Appalachia. You don't got to take the Appalachian Trail to get there. Appalachia. I had the privilege of growing up in Appalachia. It's something the Lord Jehovah, God, He wanted me to do. He said it. He's like, all right, we'll let him grow up a bit in Appalachia. It's famous. You go on, they do movies out in Appalachia, and I didn't know that, or else I would have been acting. I'm an actor. I'm not a. They say the money's involved, and they say it's a movie and all that with the cameras, and there's money and all that. Then you start to see me. Whereas down there, they're more of like this. It's not about the money, it's just about the experience for them as a human. Whereas for me, it was simply about the business. There was no business for me in Appalachia. There's really no business for my dad, John Slote, there, or his plumbing in Appalachia. What's he going to do? Fit 2 pipes in the middle of the Smoky Mountains? That guy ain't had goddamn meatballs in fucking 25 years. It's nice golfing over in that Appalachia. I never got to do that, though. This is something like friends at school and all that. They got to do. And I envy that. Here's that. Is that the Tennessee River? There's a lot of photos of this Tennessee River. There's a lot of photos of the Tennessee River, but never have I ever seen one like that. And somebody had said, there's a lot of photos of me, Stacks and Millie. Yeah, there is. I'm extremely famous. I'm also on Flickr, Instagram, YouTube, whatever. But guess what? Stacks and Millie is a concealed carry holder. Can you believe it? I am higher up than my father, John. Have fun picking on John or whatever. But I've already self-defended myself and everything with a firearm before, and I carry one. So don't ever think that you're going to, because of my opinion, don't ever think you're going to come hurt me up in Canada, because generally, the majority of our population in Canada agrees with my opinion. And that's why we've been at war since 1812. And I'm not pulling up the goddamn War of 1812 anymore. Well, you're supposed to let the women know and the men know and all that. Fuck. There are so many men, goddamn, down there. When's the last time the police went and checked out that HAWGS N Hillbillies? Could we have the Perry County sheriffs go down there every once in a while and check it out? If they threaten the Perry County sheriffs to go down there, that would indicate that they're up to no good. And that would give justification for search warrants to see what the hell they're doing in there. It ain't just crawfish and beer. You think they're smoking the methamphetamine down there in the hall? Oh, I heard that. That's what I heard. I heard the Cedar Creek's famous for their methamphetamine. The methamphetamine is so strong down there that good-hearted families get destroyed. I mean, destroyed by people like even the police. What's that family? It was a pristine, good-looking family I just seen on YouTube. It was a pristine, good-looking family on YouTube, and they got killed, eh? And then my friend Johnny, they're saying's gotten killed, and that's disgusting. There's a ongoing war down there. It's not here. We're so peaceful down here. I mean, up here, all we have is these rodents. Other than that, there is no war here in Canada. Nope. They try to bring it up, but our RCMP, I just got off the case. We were fucking on that case like no tomorrow. Those 10 stabbings and goddamn. Okay? We got that kid, eh? We got him. Okay? I don't know which one he was. I don't give a darn who he was. I'm much like the buffalo and all that and the symbol. It doesn't matter, and it scares me to even look at this. Oh, and then I have to give you a public service announcement how this one's affiliated. The war, we've had a great time at making Canada so peaceful. That's why the RCMP, the military, say we're peacekeepers. And I agree with the military and the police about this peacekeeper thing that they got going. And I didn't understand what it meant. Here she is, and here's the guy, the famous one everyone's been seeing. Peacekeepers. Yeah, they got a war going on down in the United States. That's factual. And unfortunately, near the border of Saskatchewan, one of them got up, and they stabbed 10 people. It very rarely happens here in Canada. But there's one other one in Brampton that I've been trying to gosh dang get. And you're going to see the comparison photo. The Tennessee Titans, what about these ones? North Carolina, love it. Love the football, American football. We watch it up here. Big fans of the NFL. Tanner Hudson, I'm a big fan. Carly Weatherly, me and her, we're related. I love Carly and Tanner, and I loved Carly. Why do you think I blessed their relationship? But boy, with these people, they are not safe. And the last time I seen Carly, I didn't say anything. We took a picture together. And who knows if they got it anyway, but it doesn't matter because she got a picture with Tanner, right? But these people are way different than those people, right? You see Carly and her lifestyle, and I recognized that at school that Carly and them were a part of this different family. They weren't part of the same thing. But it goes to that methamphetamine, and it also goes up to this gang, whatever the hell. It's not a gang. It's that El Chapo, Sinaloa cartel. Sinaloa is what they are. 5 Clover Bloom Road, all in Herrera. Here's your comparison photo, another comparison photo. There's been a beware on this guy. Where are we? He is not as peaceful as a flower. Where is he? He's a murderer here in Canada. Somehow he managed to sneak through, as many do. Sneak through. Much like Miles Sanderson or whatever his name is, snuck through. See the comparison here? They're exactly identical. They're parts of this same criminal network called the Sinaloa cartel. They're with El Chapo, but they haven't executed El Chapo because they brought him closer up north to work with this man. And then you got Miles Sanderson, who they've either, I don't believe he's been killed. He might have been taken in as an agent to do some sort of killings. They do that in the United States, and they may be doing that here in Canada. So until we see that body shot or whatever, he may be on the loose here in Canada, sort of like this guy's on the loose here in Canada. This one was a Canadian. This one's American. And Linden, he's yet to be caught either. And he's a killer altogether. He kills Canadians. He kills a lot of people. And he lives at 5 Clover Bloom Road in Brampton. How did I meet this man? Well, Airbnb. He had an advertisement on Airbnb. He had an advertisement on Airbnb. And he had a very good price. $650. I was, I think, 1 month away from getting off of my probation. Just 1 month away. So I was like, I'm getting back on my feet. I paid off all my restitutions. I owed restitution, which was court ordered, and it was so that I was ordered to restore monies that were lost or stolen to its proper owner. That was part of my criminal case, which I agreed to. And it was paid back so fast. It was paid back faster than my probation was. But there were 2 separate stipulations to the probation. There was the restitution, and there was, and now I understand why God was wondering how come I'm not being so gay with him. It was the way he had said it to me. He said, Tom, he said, why are you not being gay with me? And I said, Lord, it is against the way of the life to be gay, homosexual, especially with my Lord and Savior, who I see him as a man, but I guess he's a man and a woman. Just like we're men and women, we have both in us and all that. Okay, and he's both sides of the fence. And I didn't know that women talk to him, and I didn't know that men talk to him, because I was blocked from women for probably about 15 years. I was blocked from women during my mission. I was on a mission, just like many are in church, to learn the ways of life. And one of these things that I didn't even have to learn about was you must pay your restitution. And I did so. But even though I paid my restitution, the Sinaloa cartel, which invaded our economy, to the police, to the Airbnbs, in Saskatchewan, where they stabbed people with knives. See, they won't get me out. They won't be able to afford the guns that we have. The RCMP and Stacks of Millie, but boy, Mr. Herrera and the Sinaloa cartels got him. Luckily, it wasn't, I don't know what the hell, but it doesn't got anything to do with that. That's a separate matter. The matter is, this guy was on Airbnb, and he was murdering people in his Airbnb. Coincidentally, Airbnb's image is red, sort of like blood. But I will testify. Airbnb returned my money. So it was not Airbnb. The company Airbnb, I love them, and I will use them again. Their app is good. I got the book. And they deal with issues. And I almost got killed on another one. I rented an Airbnb, and it was a fake Airbnb. And then I was sitting on the thing, and a guy rolled past me like he was going to do a drive-by shooting. This was down almost in Detroit. But it never happened, and I think they returned my money. Okay, and then guess what? And then there was this time when that Alden Herrera, He had sex with my probation officer. She was also Sinaloa cartel. You can't find a picture of her, but her name's Judith. And then they started having sex, but this wasn't the only time. He also murdered a whole bunch. He murdered a person off Kijiji when I was there. I didn't even hang out with him or anything because I don't hang out with people generally. Because I did talk to him for a minute. There was just something wrong with the way he was looking. I noticed from the get-go. And some of our like softer, good-hearted Canadians, they never dealt with these kind of guys before. So at my Airbnb, I paid for a whole month ahead. So I had already put a whole month ahead. So I don't recommend booking for a whole month. Book for a week, book for 2 weeks, or don't book at all. Because these private owners, some of them are looking for the big profit. They're not looking for the 650. They want your bank account. I went into this one Airbnb. I didn't even have a firearm. I was coming from barely nothing. And then it got to the point I didn't even want to be on Airbnb. I just walked around the streets. Walked around. It got so bad with these Airbnbs. I said, I will not rent anymore because they were all murdering people and all that. So I just put my backpack on and I walked around Windsor. I walked around the campus. I got to see the campus. I walked around Toronto. I walked around Brampton. I just walked and walked and walked until it could change the economy. And believe it or not, walking for 3 or 4 days changed the economy because Airbnb wasn't getting that $100 a night. They lost support for that killer. But he's still in Brampton, and it just takes me to get hurt or something like that for that plan to work out. That's why I've been allowed to have a firearm here in Canada. Because we want our Airbnb back to what it was supposed to be. And what it is, because I've got to stay at 124 Airbnb locations. And out of 122, those were more, maybe 121. They were more than good. There were killers everywhere in these Airbnbs. Killers everywhere. Trap doors. The owners weren't supposed to be there. Next thing you know, you're sleeping and the owner's hovering over you and you're dead. Oh, what was I going to say? My friend Lucas over at Oak Street. Be very aware of him. He tried to kill me. He needled me. So like 115 were good and like 10 were bad, eh? I got hit with this needle and I turned to brick stone. And he was about to crack my toe off and kill me. It was scary. And guess what else I'm seeing? He showed me what kind of killer he was. He showed me a box of phone chargers. God loves everyone. He even loves his killers, all right? And he's got me playing this position. And he says, just keep making your videos and we're going to make you higher up to where you don't have to deal with these killers. And these killers are going to be in like this whole different area. And I'm going to be in this mansion with my gun. And this is for you guys to figure out now. But anyway, he showed me this box when I was going through. I was just renting Airbnbs, making YouTube videos and all that. And he shows me this box, and I wish I had a photo. And that's why he showed me the box. He's involved in this illegal hit business. It isn't my friend Lucas we're talking Lucas from Windsor, 502 Oak Street. He showed me this box, and it had like it had this scary amount of chargers in it. And he thought I don't know what he thought, but as soon as it started to click, I used to have this MacBook. I still got it, all right? So what happened was the Sinaloa cartel starts communicating with Lucas. They got him down in a prison on the chip. And he's working with all these people and the FBI and all the president. They think it's all a big investment and all that anyways. So they tell him, hey, you don't have to kill this fat guy, Staxamilly. Just wait until he goes to the shower and pretend you're like this person that ran in the house and grabbed the MacBook. But this is my MacBook, and I was smart enough because I listened to myself and listened to Staxamilly. But don't listen to him too. Listen to yourself. Listen to your own conscience. You got what I'm saying? And now use your own brain. So I felt like something was going on. So I said, I'm putting my MacBook in my backpack, and I'm going to bring it with me because most people don't do that. I'm going to bring it with me to the shower. Because he came down, seen me on my MacBook, right? Because I was in this sort of a shared open room. He seen me on my MacBook, which is worth $750, even to buy a used MacBook. It was donated to me from London to get me back on my feet. I was in a homeless shelter, and they knew I was really good at computers. I had just gotten out of jail after a short sentence of 4 months, and I needed a new computer. And they said, that's Staxamilly, buddy. Here's your new MacBook. And that's when they gave me a MacBook. And that was the MacBook I had down in Detroit or whatever, Windsor. And, well, through hell and high water, if I would have never went to jail, I would have never knew how expensive. Kids, these MacBooks are life and death, all right? Do not let people see them generally. You hold on to them in your backpack. You get to safety. And you have to take certain procedures. I even carried my MacBook with me to go to the bathroom. Because guess what? I'm in the shower. Boom! Next thing you know, I hear a fake door open. Because usually the owner of the house just opens the door normally, right? Right? But this time I knew it. He slammed the door open, and then guess where somebody was running. See, how it works is once he steals the MacBook, and I say, what happened to my MacBook? Well, then he says, hey, somebody must have broke in, and you can't say anything against him because the MacBook's gone, and he can kick you out. And so to prevent that, I took the MacBook with me because I had suspected it. So then I'm in the shower, and I hear this fake, what I call fake. And then I got out of the shower, and boy, was he mad that I had taken my MacBook to the shower. He said, why'd you take the MacBook to the shower? I said, it's my property. I can take my MacBook to the shower. See, this Airbnb thing, when it comes to those ones, you don't, just because I'm renting from you does not mean I'm forfeiting my MacBook to you. But unfortunately, what are you going to do when you're not a firearm owner, or you don't have pepper spray, or it gets worse. I mean, this Lucas guy, he didn't buy his property. He did something illegal. Let's just put it that way. But then after that, I went to a new Airbnb. There was a female. I highly recommend, if you're a man, to, like me, I was a single kid, rent from a female. Don't rent from a male when it comes to the Airbnbs. I was a virgin, technically. I mean, I wasn't the most experienced. So sometimes I was a little bit scared to go with the female, but since I've learned, no, go with the female. They're much more friendly. You're probably not going to end up dead. It doesn't have to be anything else than an Airbnb because they're going to be sweet like your mom. But with the guys, all right, like a Mr. Herrera, I didn't do anything to Mr. Herrera. I even had it professionally cleaned. But unfortunately, because, well, no, how I see it, it was illegal. They keep saying that I didn't do anything to Mr. Herrera but sleep on the bed. And then next thing you know, he was having sex with my probation officer, Judith, which is a violation of her police code, her police, her where she's going against the law. And then next thing you know, they said they were going to kill me, and I got up and they attempted to kill me. And then I tried to run out of the Airbnb and they tried to kill me again, shoot me. I don't see how that's self-defense to list an Airbnb. You're telling me it's a self-defense to list an Airbnb. I'm doing more than good. Why wouldn't I be? Who do you think this all in her ear is? Do you think these people are Superman or something? They're not. It's the way that you guys are working with these people that you're making these horrible people, you're making them Supermen. It's not Chelsea. She's a host in Philly. She's one of the great ones. Like I said, 120. 120. Yeah, I'm in Port Elgin. I love my city of Port Elgin. And the funny thing is, Judith, whatever. I was completely unarmed, but now I'm not, thanks to Judith. She told me, Thomas, buy a shotgun, as she was shooting at me. So they got this law or whatever set up to kill our people and our kids. Because my own probation officer came into my residence where I'm legally renting under the Airbnb app and started shooting me and said, go buy a shotgun, as she was shooting me for nothing. He didn't do anything but listen to music on my headphones or something like that in my Airbnb. It wasn't too loud. And if I wouldn't have been listening to music and all that, she probably would have shot me just outright altogether. See, she showed up at the door and it was really suspicious. This was after I witnessed them murder. They had somebody doing flooring and all that off Kijiji. So I had already known what was going on, but then I ran out of money. I had already rented this place for a month. But after they did the floor, all I heard was gunshots, and all I heard was gunshots, and then I heard nothing really, and then I had to play my role until I could escape. I was hidden in my my room. And then he tried to shoot me through the wall. And then I sort of forgot about it and was like, hey, was that real? And then that's when they tried to get me and shoot me all together. And, but guess what? I escaped and I called the police. And then the Brampton Peel Regional started working with them on their criminal thing. They're criminals, period. Don't go near them and all. This one's famous, this one. Not all of them are bad. You know, like this guy don't look too bad. And this guy don't look too bad either. And all that. But when it, I'm not getting involved. I won't go near him. But man, Judith was a total. They killed a guy like this, eh? It was a guy off Kijiji. That's what I keep saying. So people are wondering, who is guy off Kijiji? When you say guy off Kijiji, he was a guy like this off Kijiji, just a normal Canadian guy, not too masculine, just sort of like a lot of our college kids in Guelph and stuff like that. He was like that. And the Peel Regional Police stuck up for this killer, and he still lives in Peel Region over at 5 Clover Bloom Road. And it was unbelievable. I mean, and this is the Brampton Courthouse. They don't process legitimate cases there all the time. There's some legitimate cases, and there's a lot of beeswax. It's taught me a lot about the police, because I should be one of these guys with the uniform on, but we had enough of these guys with the uniform on. When it was coming up, we got a lot of force, right? So my choice here in Canada wasn't to be a uniformed police officer. Well, you know, it should have been. I would have been a great officer, and I could be. I could get expunged in the future and be a police officer, but one of my duties as a police officer would be to get this motherfucker. That's the police don't talk like that. But the ones I seen didn't do very much action either. There's been no charges against Judith. There's been no charges against Herrera. And there is missing people in the community. And people will learn slowly and surely who the police are. What happened to the one that's exactly nothing happened? Much like one of these, he's a white shirt guy that doesn't even wear the goddamn white shirt. But I love the PO Regional. And that's what they loved me to, or else I would have been long gone. Trust me, if they don't like you, they'll get you. No, I like PO Regional generally. What else to say about PO Regional? I got to know the regional police. I had heard about a lot about the regional police, and I got to meet a lot of them, but not all. I wish Mr. Herrera would meet these guys. Word in the street is, it was posted on that 6 Buzz that unfortunately even our guys in the uniforms, they watch it. Don't even waste your time. Actually, watch it. No, I don't know. I don't watch it. They get you wrapped up in it. Don't watch it. But the word is, through that 6 Buzz or whatever, but I can feel our power rising again. Is this a toy car? Through that 6 Buzz, they said that they did send some SWAT to try to attempt to go get that. The firearm I seen him with, it was a very nice Desert Eagle or 45. It was engraved. It was old. It wasn't brand new. It was an engraved Eagle. I think it was an engraved Eagle, believe it or not. But I believe he may have automatics. I mean, this is a complete war. This goes over to the El Chapo and all that. He even went into, like, this guy is unbelievable. He is like the biggest criminal in all of Brampton. After I left the property and Airbnb refunded me my money because he attempted to murder me, which is illegal under Canadian law. It's taken years to even get this out. So what is this? It's sort of this atrocity. And that's why I've been now equipped with my 32 caliber and my 410 shotgun. Just as he's equipped with his engraved Desert Eagle. But you know what he has that I know I don't have? I think he must be equipped with automatics. Because why haven't the police taken this guy to jail? He's on ODSP on top of his murder money. So cut him off of his ODSP and wait for him to come out and get him. Or don't cut him off and get him while it's like, why are you coming after the innocent ones and not getting it's about time you get the actual guys and the majority can be happy here. What is this war? Come on, guys, there's a real war. I love that Herrera. I said, I love that Herrera. I'm lucky he didn't get me. Where did he shoot his gun at? He is nuts, all right? He went into the Marigold Hotel. Be very careful of the Marigold Hotel in Brampton. I went there. CJ, the black one with the little curlies or whatever, he told me about this Marigold Hotel. He said, "Where are you going next? You stay at Marigold? Or you stay Marigold?" I rented one room in Marigold. Next thing you know, the exact guy with the camouflage that and probably not wearing camouflage now, he came into my room with a baseball bat and he hit me on my knees and then he left. And then, yeah, it's a very bad area. I've never seen it. It's like all the people that we warned you about really live in Brampton and they really are doing bad shit. There's so many of them, it's fucking terrifying. Like, I got my 32 and my 410. Like, Jesus Christ, Tommy. If they're that strong, it's like fucking Jerusalem over there before it got destroyed. So, anyway, I had a separate time at the Marigold on the top floor. I have this photo, famous photo. Very happy with that time. But other than that, it's very upstairs. These hotels are scary. I sat down in the lobby. That was one thing. Then you go upstairs to the real hotel and it's not like this picture, man. So keep your family, your friends, and your gun with you. And believe it or not, I was sitting here waiting for breakfast or something, just fresh off of getting my money back from Airbnb. Mr. Herrera, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, these ones here is like, he's wearing camouflage? No. And the police, they didn't get him either. Police didn't get this guy either. I didn't even have guns on me. He runs inside, he fires his Desert Eagle right here in the middle of the Marigold Hotel. They have it all on video and all that. And the police are not honorable. They're very, like, they don't go after the real criminal. They go after the easy food. They just start starving little kids. And that's how they make themselves look until they can capture the guy that shoots his gun in the middle of Marigold Hotel. I was sitting right here. Next thing you know, Mr. Herrera shooting his gun and all that. Ooh, look at this. Whoa, buddy. Whoa. Is that blood? Whoa. There's a lot of blood out there in that Toronto and that Brampton and that Mississauga. I've never seen so much blood. I grew up in this family here in Canada that the way we did it, there was never any blood. It was only prosperous gold and silver. They came from this family. It was halal, bleed their neck and for God. So now we see who God is. Now I get the story. Out in Islam, when they talk to Allah, he's one person. The same exact Allah I talk to, which is the same Allah from out in the Middle East, and the same Allah in this area, is the same Allah that I talk to, and he's the one that allows this bloodshed in the name of Allah. In the name of God. The same one that I'm working on this video to produce to make some money, but not everybody can do it. Well then, why don't you join the police and capture somebody like that? Well, the police, I don't know, man. I don't know. The police, I don't know what to say about it. They got this idiot. Right? And he looked just like him, so that's a start. We got one guy, and that's a way to do it. But Canada's RCMP until now, they've had trouble with their RICO Act stuff. But this is the start of it. We are going to build a system here in Canada to find organized crime organized crime groups that may appear as individuals that are actually doing these heinous acts, like the murder with the knives, and guess what? He's related to the guy that does the murder with the guns. But they spread themselves out But I am the creator of the system, like this video here. It's this new news outlet that's able to put this perspective to light and show that these ones in Saskatchewan were linked up to these ones in Brampton. And this one in Brampton is a huge hit to not the Brampton economy, because people are paying for his ODSP. He's going to make people, him going to jail is going to be big money. There's going to be a new house on the market for sale. It's a beautiful home he lives on, and unfortunately, he chose the wrong career. When I grew up here in Canada and the United States, you had to find a real career. They said, "What are you going to be, Tom? You're going to be a fireman? You're going to be a police officer? You're going to be a plumber? You're going to be a well driller? You're going to work at the grocery store? What are you going to do? You're going to make movies, be a movie producer? Can you believe I made it to be a movie producer?" But yeah, there was all these choices. I just cannot believe that they allow folks to make these choices. And they continue to, and they will continue to make these choices because they're with these people. Well, they are until they prove they're not. Because I had a talk with the RCMP, and they don't seem like bad people. And when it comes to money, I'm all about it. I know how to make money off the legitimate capture. Legitimate capture. That's what. Okay, listen. They just got. Okay, there's only a limited amount. We're talking business again. We're talking steel. You know, you want to talk money and metal. They say, why should we join your side of the fence, Tom? With the metal. Okay, we already had Timmins, where they found the nickel, found the copper, found the metal. We got the metal. The metal's up in our banks. These are the ones trying to get at our metal. We don't need to do any crime to make any money. We got all the metal already. We're extremely wealthy. We're the Canadians. Now you listen here, sir. We're already the Canadians. We're already the Canadians, and we've already gotten our metal from Timmins and all that. It's in the banks. And we're here to protect that. And we have military, well, the United States does, that just went over to Syria and they got the rest of the steel. There was steel over there, and we already mined all the steel from the United States, and we mined all the steel from Canada. We get it every month, or police make $65,000 a year. That has the same thing to do with the metal. Gold in the bank. Gold is what your note, your Canadian dollar represents, is the gold in the bank that our families mine throughout Canada. I come from a well drilling and mining family. You were either a well driller or you were a miner, oil or the metals. My family was rich in oil. She happens to be related. She's RCMP and I'm working with her. And what was the next one? Listen, we already got the system to make our money. There's no extra money little thing here. The only thing that is going to happen from you trying to choice, not her, but other officers, ones that may be not shown here, or others, the only thing that's going to happen is terrorism. You have to take Alden and Herrera to jail and the bad ones to jail instead of going with them to make an extra dollar or some sexual event, because that's going to be your career and that's going to be your whole economy. And we wonder why our economy's in shambles, because we got a bunch of idiots that never got the education. Here's the education. Okay? You don't got to go to Elmer for this one. It's on YouTube. Get it? Take the criminals to jail and you are going to live well in Canada. It ain't about how you look. I am part Native as well. It's about your actions. It's about the guy's actions. And look at his goddamn actions. He killed somebody that was much like me. But guess what? I'm much like this one too. All right? And they got him. The ones in Saskatchewan get it. I heard about that. That's why Eden moved to Saskatchewan. But what about Brampton and Toronto and all that? I mean, RCMP's goal is all across Canada, federally. We want to keep it safe. And this news story didn't make any money for the police. It made money for me. It didn't make any money for the police. So it ain't about the news story either. That's a theory. It's like, hey, we like the murders because it's got these news stories. It ain't anything sexual either because the women are saying, hey, I like you, but who's this guy in Brampton we've yet to take to jail? Because you ain't getting no puppy love until then, bud. It ain't about a photo about, you know what I mean? But this is a good one. They put it out here. We got him. And this goes with the god dang other guy in Edmonton. It's all in Herrera, and then you got this one guy in Edmonton. And then it's just us. Congratulations, Canada. We almost have won. And then you got some other ones that think they're going to come up from the U.S. or come from other places, like Africa. That's like what I said. Kids in school. The government of Canada keeps saying, we need game developers. No. We do not need game developers. We need developers. But we don't need game developers. We need programmers. C++ programmers is where I'm going to keep it. What does C++ programming do? C# and all that. We have designers. That's to attract people, to keep them distracted, or not even distracted, but entertained. Entertained is when you're being distracted by yourself. You're being distracted on yourself to be entertained. You're enjoying the entertainment. We have lots of entertainers, too many. I'm one of the last to be an entertainer here in Canada. We don't need them. We need C++ programmers. What's a C++ program? It's somebody that can, and the U.S. needed the same thing, and that's why I never made it in the U.S. They needed C++ programmers. They said, Staps, can you code C? I said, no, but, and then they go pick up their C programmers. That's what we need in Canada, too. I got to go down there and learn their whole thing. So how they're beating us is they have C# and C++ programs. If you're experienced in C++, you'll get what I'm saying already. C++ is what they use to control robots and things. Factories are what they use. C++ is the language that controls these robotic arms and all that. Well, the militaries that are defeating Canada, they're using it for their weapons. They got aimbots, they got wall hacks, shams, they got all these same hacks that are in the games. Laser guns, automatic detection systems, all that. Which is a good thing, I thought, for me and many others. But many others are getting hurt by this system, and I just want to say that hopefully that Canada can one day, we don't need the game kids, we need people that are going to create the real life means. It means exclusive. It means if you're a C++ programmer here in the United States, you are going to be held at an ultimate regard. Like you are the most, and you're not going to be like this. You're going to be in a $1 million unit on your computer, and you're going to be able to program. Unfortunately, I'm not a C++ programmer. I'm the guy that's in a $350,000 unit that makes movies, that's trying to tell our citizens, my fellow cousins and all that, that it's not the gaming we need, guys. It's these C++ programmers. And you'll, as you get older, you'll start to realize why. As you get to know your rodent that bites you in your neck and all that, and you start to see the lasers. All that matters is I just want to be safe here in Canada from these people, from the illegals. They're working with the illegals down in the US. They go from being an illegal immigrant to an under the table, and then they're allowed to